How do you see clutter impacting lives? Some people might say, well, what's the big deal? I don't bring anybody over. Like, I don't see what the problem is, right?
Just like relationships, your space can be very dysfunctional. Your life can be very dysfunctional. But if it's dysfunctional, it's a struggle. We're doing too much. And some of it is us, right? Because we want to be in control of a lot of things. Some of it is us because we sometimes have an unrealistic expectation that we put on ourselves in regards to being a partner, being a parent. The expectation to do all of those things is not sustainable.
Hey family, welcome to another episode of The Love Lens, where we're changing your view on love one episode at a time. Now, one thing I got to tell y'all, I got a dirty little secret. I come from a family of hoarders, all right? And I'm Jamaican, and my family grew up with not much. And what had happened was is that I grew up in a family. I don't know if you grew up in a family like this, where, if you have a Ziploc bag, it could be washed. Okay. If you have a piece of foil, it could be washed. If you have anything, it could be washed. The plastic Tupperware. Oh my goodness. So it has taken a lifetime so far just to overcome how I've been raised when it comes to holding on to stuff. And as a love coach, I see so often with women, when we hold on to things of the past, it is really hard to make room for love in the future. So today I have someone that I have so much respect for, a woman that is a top-notch professional. She is someone that is serving on her national board. She's worked with celebrities across the country. She could fly into your home no matter where you are to help to transform your clutter. The natural born organizer, and teaching you to do so as well. I have today Tanisha Lyons Porter. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a chef's kiss.
So, Tanisha, what do you see as the biggest problem when it comes to women and clutter?
We doing too much. We doing too much. And some of it is us, right? Because we want to be in control of a lot of things. Some of it is us because we sometimes have an unrealistic expectation that we put on ourselves in regards to being a partner, being a parent, being a sibling, a friend, someone who serves maybe in ministry. And the expectation to do all of those things is not sustainable. And even as a natural born organizer, when I am stretched too thin, when I am weary, when life hits my space, my home, my business, I will even see the effects of that, right? That is even over and above how you were raised. If you are sentimental, if you have a shopping habit, right? If you are on the hoarding scale, all of that is underneath the fact that most women are stretched way too thin and they're trying to do it all.
Stretched way too thin. When we're stretched way too thin. Now, when you talk about a shopping habit, hallelujah. So, like, is there a rule to shopping? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Like, now, mind you, I've had this in my closet for some time, and I struggle with not buying new outfits for every podcast episode and such, right? But it's just like, how
Mhm.
do you combat a shopping habit of wanting the new, especially in this current social media world where you're like, I took enough pictures in it. I want a new look. I'm going on vacation. Vacation clothes. Vacations now cost extra money because you need a whole new wardrobe for the vacation, for the photos, for the videos, for the things. Like, what is the rule of thumb? Hallelujah. With the shopping habit.
The rule of thumb is always going to be you have to respect the boundaries that you are given in your current place of residence. That's really it, right? From there, then all of the other mindset and decisions come from. If you have a walk-in closet the same size as someone's living room, or if you have a reach-in closet and it's literally one section, it's not like a boom and then a boom, right? You still, your room and you still have boundaries.
Mm.
You still have a finite amount of space to work with, right? And so I feel like where people stumble, it's not about not shopping. It's not about not buying the things when you feel like you need them. It's about recognizing my space is, I'm hitting the boundary and being okay as you're shopping, knowing that this thing might have a shorter lifespan, right?
Yeah.
And understanding that if I am in an industry or if I am in a space in my life, in my business, where I have to purchase new things on a regular basis, right? Because for some that is a reality, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. As I'm purchasing those things, we have to already have built into the life cycle of the thing where it's going and how long the expectation is that it's going to be there. So if I know that every place I go, whether it's a conference, whether it's vacation, whether it's a work trip, whether it's I'm doing a podcast or I have a show, and I have this rotation of never ending wardrobe choices, then I have to have built in how I'm getting rid of it. Am I
Ooh.
selling it? Am I having some level of an auction at the end of, at the end of a quarter or some type of cycle? Am I passing it on to my sister, to, someone who I know would enjoy using, like, or am I straight donating it because it's fast fashion and it's not that expensive, right? So it
Right.
really depends. But all of the fact of respecting the boundary of what you have right now, it affects and it influences how you're shopping. So if you know that you have to buy a lot of stuff, you're also not going to be buying very, let's say, high quality things if you know you don't have the time to resell them, right?
Yeah.
You're buying things that look good on camera, that
Mhm.
look good on film, but they may not be the best quality, which is fine because then you're not as whatever about just donating them, right?
Right.
It will be useful because those type of clothes aren't good for resale. So why are we wasting our time with that? So to go back to your original question, it starts with respecting the boundary that you have. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is, because the person that has the walk-in closet the same size as your living room, they're going to run out of room
Ooh.
eventually.
Are you someone that goes to all the conferences? You get your CEUs for your job. You're always up leveling in personal development. I'm going to tell you one thing. You need your CEUs in love. Join me for Wanted Woman Live, the ultimate non-conference, unconference experience, 3 days in sunny South Florida this fall. This is an experience where women come together from all over the country to be able to be poured into? All around love. How do you show up in love? How do you receive love? How do you just have fun with love? Join the sisterhood, an amazing experience created and curated just for you, the professional woman that desires more. Click the link below, wantedwomanlive.com. Girl,
And then what?
You talking to me. So I recently moved from a 2-bedroom condo, which I felt like I was stuffed like a canned tuna, right? Into a 5-bedroom house. And my closet hanging space is actually less in this 5-bedroom house than it is from my 2-bedroom condo. I'm like, wait a second. I finally got my dream closet, y'all. I got my dream closet built out. Very nice. Mm-hmm. And the amount of space, I'm like, wait, but, and I feel like I'm stuffing things. So you were talking to me about the boundary of the walls that I have. Because then one of the things, Andy, my husband, does not believe in getting a storage unit, right? Like he's like, that is illegal. There is no way. I have a friend that paid for a storage unit for like a decade. And it's just like unnecessary, really expensive expense, right? So I like this concept of us just starting to understand if you ain't got no room for it, it is time to get rid of something to bring it in, or don't buy it at all. That's pretty much the rule of thumb. Like if there's no room, just let it go, or be quicker to donate.
Yes.
The quicker to donate.
Be quicker to pass. It's like, and I do this. People ask me, well, shop. I see you with new things. I see you, you have your fast fashion sense around you. It's not like I'm walking around dowdy and, boring or whatever. It's like, well, how do you keep your closet in check? It's like, as I'm putting away in my dry cleaning, as I'm putting away my clean laundry, if my t-shirt drawer is packed, I'm not then starting a stack on the side. I'm not buying a 3-drawer plastic roller dresser to then extend where I'm putting my t-shirts. I'm looking and I'm seeing, okay, how many clean t-shirts that I just folded do I need to fit in here? How many of those is there anything that's out here that's better than what's in here? That's the question. And then it's like, oh, I like these. Then now I got to look at my t-shirt stash and it's like, okay, which one is not making the cut? Because I'm not creating a new t-shirt stash, right? And the same goes with every other category in your wardrobe. The same goes to your closet. It's like if the section of Coach Cass's brand wardrobe, right? Because you should have a section of pink. You should have a section so you're never looking for branded, you know what I mean? Brand colored outfits, right?
Yeah.
So if section starts to get packed, then we're not expanding out of that section unless we're swapping it with a bigger section, right?
Yeah.
But then at that point, it's like, okay, what's in here that has made the rotation like a gazillion times? Or what's in here? Because maybe even though it's made the rotation a gazillion times, if that a gazillion times makes me look fire and I feel like the wanted woman that I am, then that's staying in there until forever, right?
Yeah.
But maybe there was something that I bought recently that I put it on and I just didn't feel very confident. I was worried about the tummy. I was worried. I was constantly pulling and yanking at it. And I didn't like the way that looked like on my videos. So then, okay, that's gotta go. That is not working out. Right. So it's that editing. And if we edit on a regular basis like that, then it doesn't feel overwhelming. And it's a lot easier to spot the things that do not belong anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So I watched a show once and it was talking about like how to become a minimalist. And they were saying to pack up your whole house into boxes and then over 3 months, see how many of those boxes you actually open. And then from there, throw out everything else. They were just like, if you didn't use it in 3 months, just never mind, just get rid of all of it. And I don't know if everybody can afford that kind of time to do all of that, right? To pretend they move and do all of that. So is 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 there something for the person that is living in a space right now that there is no way she can invite a man to her home, right? It's just like it's ridiculous. Like if she was supposed to do that feng shui bagua board, it's like clutter in every room. If you open the door, you might be moving stuff. You know, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get to that." You know, there's stuff everywhere. She might be in her own studio apartment. She might be in a house, but it's just like ridiculous. Like, where does she start with that woman that is just overwhelmed? She wants to date, but then she's like overwhelmed. Just in, like, how does that seep into her life? Like her current clutter. How have you seen that like seep into her life? I know I just asked you 3 questions at the same time. Pick anyone.
So we'll start with the first one.
Uh-huh.
So, in order to start, what I normally tell people is in every space in your home, there's generally a purpose for the space, right? The kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, office, whatever you may have. So, what I generally say is find your non-negotiables, right? Your holy grails in whatever room. I cannot get through a day, a week, a month without grabbing this, using this, thinking about this, or whatever, right? You keep that question in every single room and you pull those things together, right? Everything outside of that gets removed, packed up, shifted to another cabinet, you know, something to where you don't see it. So then the using that same behavior as a minimalist is if within that 3 months, 6 months, whatever time period you want to give yourself, if you haven't opened up said box to look for something that maybe you forgot, oh, you know what? I actually do need that air fryer when I make this, right? You really don't need it, right? If you haven't opened up, you know, the top cabinet that you put all the things that you're like, I probably won't need this, then you don't need it. Gone, pack that up and send it off to donation, right? In the closet, if you put all of if you create like a capsule wardrobe and you put all of your favorite of the favorite of the favorite things, whether it's workout, casual, dressy, whatever, in the front of the closet, and in 6 months, you don't ever go into the back of the closet, then you know you can pack up the majority of that back of the closet and go ahead and donate it. So that is an easy way, an easier way to do it. You're not moving anytime soon, and you want to be able to recognize what can be on the clutter chopping block, so to say.
That's good. That's so good, right? So you're making me think, and it's just like, you know, like I have books like you read, and a part of me is like, should I get rid of these books? Because they're really just decoration. You know, it's just like, you know, I was in network marketing at one point, and it's just like the millionaire has books and not TVs, you know, and that statement like stayed with me to where I feel like I just need books in my home, even if I'm not actually reading them. And I wonder, like, is this clutter? Or am I trying to show that I'm smart? Like, I have a really hard time with that. Do you have a view on that?
I do. I think it really depends, right? So if books and it being color coded is part, let's just say if that was part of your background on the podcast set.
Yeah.
Then that's fine, right? Like it's decor. It's fine. Even if it's decor in the living room or in your library or your office, that's fine. Now, where it switches is if you now need that space for something else. Let's say we went through the process and I don't know, let's just say you needed something for, you know, for your business or for your baby girl or something, and you don't have any space. But where those books are is a perfect place for that, or where the bookshelf is a perfect there, right? Like you could literally get rid of the entire bookshelf and put something else, right? So perfect example. Let's say someone has a business or they want to start a brand influencing thing and they need a content corner, right? They have this corner with 3 bookshelves full of stuff full of books, full of tchotchkes, full of this, that, and the other, right? Collecting dust. Now, if they need a content corner, there's your content corner. There's no setup, there's no breakdown. It's up, and then you just go on and you become the talent that you need to be.
Yeah.
Then that stuff needs to go. But if there's a corner and it's, a good place to do pictures, or you sit there every once in a while, but it's not hurting nobody and you don't need a space, it's fine. It's not hurting anything. It's decoration. So that's how I feel about those things. It's like, if you need the space, then you can't afford to have things just laying around just because.
Okay, so right now it's a shelf. I don't need nothing else there. So I'm going to keep my books. And yes, they're color coordinated. Hallelujah. So how do you see clutter impacting lives? Like some people might say, well, what's the big deal? I don't bring anybody over. Like, I don't see what the problem is, right? So I don't have a problem. I just have my stuff and I love my stuff. And like my grandma fills half of her bed with stuff, right? Like she's surrounded by stuff and you cannot touch her stuff, right? So how do you see this impacting the lives of women? How does that show up in their day-to-day life?
Yeah, well, people have different tolerances for different things, right? And some people have a very high or low, what do you call it? Aversion to clutter. So it may not bother certain people. And, literally that is your space, and that's fine. Where I like to have the conversation is that, just like relationships, your space can be very dysfunctional. Just like relationships, your life can be very dysfunctional. And just like in relationships, we can get through the day-to-day, the different events, the conversations, or whatever. But if it's dysfunctional, it's a struggle. And sometimes you get used to the struggle, and then it becomes normal. And you don't even realize that you're functioning in the struggle until something is different, until you're exposed to something different, until the struggle is removed, even if it's temporarily. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. I've been struggling under this cloud that I thought was normal, right? And so I always tell people, yes, you can absolutely be successful. You can absolutely reach your goals. You can absolutely live a life like it's golden, right? And be in a cluttered field, sort of field-ish space. But you're running a marathon in mud. When you could be running a marathon on a track that was built for speed. So you may not realize that you could be reaching your goals and getting up and showing up and doing all the things with a little bit more ease. And so what would that look like? That means that maybe I'm not as mentally drained at the end of the day. Maybe at the end of the day, when I should be, writing a chapter in a book, or when I should be making content, or I should be writing an email, or I should be reading for my own discovery, or maybe I should be being intimate with my husband or my spouse, or playing a game with my child, or calling someone over the phone, but I can't because I'm mentally exhausted or I'm physically exhausted because things aren't organized around me, because my life is cluttered with things, because my days are chaotic. It's taking a lot of energy, right? And so, yeah, you can do the things, but how much more could you do if you had a little bit more order in your life? Or how much more time could you have if it didn't take you all of the 18 hours or however long you're working through your day? How much more free time could you potentially have? Even if you were a little bit more organized, it doesn't have to be quote unquote perfect. But even if your organization aptitude got a little bit better, how
Mm.
much time could you potentially add to your days? How much more ease could you potentially have in your day-to-day life, which could manifest itself, that ripple effect? You only God knows how that could ripple in a positive way in your life.
Yeah.
So that's I talk to people when they're like, I mean, what's the big deal? Like my this doesn't have to look like that. You're absolutely right, it doesn't. But what if just a little increase could make a huge, positive effect in your life?
Mm.
Why not try it? Doesn't have to
I
be
love
perfect.
that.
Your organization doesn't have to look like mine, right? But why not try it? So that's how I speak to people in regards to that.
I love that. I love that so much, right? And I so believe in what you do just because it has been a lifelong struggle, right? Where I have started to realize, and I remember asking one of my good friends, like, how are you so neat, right? Like, as a single man, I wonder how he's doing as a married man now. But I just remembered, I just,
Life
yeah.
changes,
And
life
he got two
events.
kids. I wonder if he's going crazy. But but I remember like his place, no matter what time I popped up, this man's house was always in order. And I'm like, how do you do this? What is this? What is this? And he's like, well, Cass, I was taught everything has a home and you put it back in its home. And I'm just like, wow, I'm just thinking of like a little turtle just going back to his little shell. And it has taken me so long to try and to do this, but then it's also to like educate the people around you that that's not the home. That's the home you made it, but that's not the home I gave it. It's just like that whole thing. And I find that involving others, if you live with people, that you allow them to take on certain parts of the organization so that they actually put it back. For instance, in my condo, my pantry ended up being like the most cluttered, crazy space because my family had no part in making it pretty. I did the pretty, you pour the thing into the thing, it got the label, da da da. But then when we moved into the new house, my husband and my daughter actually did the pantry. And my pantry has stayed tip top of shape since we moved in. I'm not, look at God, what is happening over here?
You know what happened?
What?
It's because now your pantry is set up for the weakest link.
Mm.
You set up the pantry that made sense for you as the woman of the house. But that made sense for you and you bought into it because it was easy for you to maintain. But now that your husband and your daughter set up the pantry, it's set up for them. They were the weakest link, right? Because for them, it didn't make sense. They didn't have buy-in to maintain it and to put things back where it was, right? But now the weakest links, the people that have to buy into the system, created the system. You're more than happy to just, I will follow that system because it looks good. Good.
looks
great.
Great.
That was the difference.
I don't have to be right. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to look cute. Like, can we just...
Like, it's fine. It's fine. So I applaud you. I applaud you because sometimes the person who is typically responsible for how the house runs, sometimes we don't give up that control and we want to fit that square peg in the round hole. It's like, I set up the house like this, now follow it, right? And sometimes we have to switch it a little bit and set up the house so that other people can be a part of the maintaining, right?
Yeah.
And so that you can delegate things. And so it's a good trade-off. So congratulations, girl.
Girl, when I say Sister Tanisha has helped me in my life. Okay, so all right, Tanisha. Now we're here, we're living a cluttered life, and then I come across your social media and you have these like, okay, bye type of statements and videos that I absolutely love. Like, where did that even start?
So it started from a place of grief when I was in the dark days after my mom passed suddenly in September, right?
Mm.
So I was used to showing up online every day somehow, some way. And, after someone passes suddenly, or even if you know it's coming, it's still a shock. You're still knocked off your rocker or whatever. But there's always, even in the dark days, there's something inside of you that still wants to be a part of the living, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, after a few days of just sleeping side by side by my sister, I was like, I just want to feel some semblance of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to show up, but I don't know how because I really don't, right? So that's one of the reasons why, if you look at all of the background, it's the Facebook black background with hearts in gray, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that was my way of saying I'm still in mourning.
Mm.
And the hearts, because I'm saying this in love. And so I would think about something and then I would just go online, say it. And the okay, bye came from, all right, okay, bye. I'm going back into my little, my dark place of mourning, right?
Mm.
Popping up to give y'all a little something, something. Okay, bye. I'm going back into my dark place of mourning, right?
Yeah.
And it just started. I think people were kind of like, oh my God, she's doing, like she, oh, it was a way for people to kind of see me, but not see me and let them know I'm still in here, even though I'm in this moment. And so it just picked up traction and I started doing it literally every day. And it was probably like, I don't know, day 4 after my mom passed. But things would just come up in my mind. I would think about something. I would see my sister doing something because she was my first and forever client. Um, I would just be giving her the side eye, which is the reason why I always put a side eye somewhere in the text, right? Um, and so yeah, so I just started showing up doing it and people love it. Cause we have like this toxic thing in our culture to
Mm-hmm.
where we don't like to be yelled at, but sometimes we do like to be yelled at. Like we kind of like our toes to be stepped on,
Just a little
you know.
bit.
We kind of like our edges to be pulled just a tinch. We kind of like that pinch in the twist, like
Mm-hmm.
it's something
Mm-hmm.
about if you do that, that means you love me though, right? I'm gonna be mad, but you wouldn't do it unless you loved me, right?
Right.
So sometimes, y'all in quotes, y'all don't listen to me until I like say it like it is. So it's gone from there. And so literally that was what let's just say the beginning of October, right? Which I know was probably the end of September, but let's say the beginning of October. And I've pretty much done a post almost every day. Like the last few months, it hasn't been, or the last couple of months, it hasn't been every day. But from October to easily March, April, I literally posted an okay bye post every single day.
Right. And just so for those who are like, what is the okay bye? Literally, Tanisha is ripping us up on whatever organization topic there is. Like, do you have an example of an okay bye? I'm not saying that you have to like memorize them, but do
No,
you have an example for me?
I have one. One of the last ones that I did was on Father's Day,
Mm.
right? And some of my okay bye posts are inspired by me, right? Because I'm like, okay, if I am experiencing this, or if I had to tell myself this, then I need to tell the masses too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for a gift bag for my husband's cologne that I was giving him for Father's Day. And, I use gift bags and shopping bags and the good bags you get when you go into that good restaurant. How I use them and reuse them, I will put them on the floor in my back seat of my car, and that's my trash can. And
Mm.
then when I fill up my car, I just take the whole bag and I throw it away, right? So I tend to save good bags like that, but I use them. But so I went in there looking to see if I found like a small bag, and I didn't have one. Like I would pull one out and it would be a shopping bag that has somebody else's logo on it. I was like, I can't use that. And then, then I would pull out a small bag that I could put cologne in and it said happy birthday.
Mm.
And I pull out that and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, you got all these bags. You got all these bags. And you can't find one bag for this cologne.
Mm.
So luckily, long time ago, I used to have this other business and I used to sell mustard seeds, talking about God faith, right? Faith of the size of mustard seeds. And I remembered, I was like, oh, my little vending bag has the little white bag. But from there, it came. And so the post was, so you saving all these shopping bags, but yet saving all these gift bags, but when you really need one, you can't find one for the gift that you need at the moment. So why are we saving them all? Side eye. Okay, bye.
Why are you stepping on my toes? Stay buying a new bag, but we got to save this one. This is a good one. It's a nice one. It's a good and a nice one.
Good and a nice one.
It's so pretty. Don't worry that Ava's name is all through the thing. We can find another Ava.
Right. It's so funny. It's so funny because people sometimes they feel like they have to like defend themselves, and like someone was like, well, I can't get rid of all my bags. And then I have to politely tell them to refer back and read again. I said, why are you saving all of the bags? I didn't say you had to get rid of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some bags, like the big old happy birthday bag. You're not giving a gift that big.
You're not.
You're not.
I'm just ordering on Amazon. Yeah.
You're not, right? Mm. So it's like those types of bags you don't need to keep because you're not giving a gift that big. So I have to let people know, even though I'm saying that, I'm not saying you have to get rid of everything, but there are probably half that you'll never reuse because it's either really, really small or it's really, really big, or you don't have nobody that is nowhere near having no more babies. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Okay, so I have one of those things, the green grass that you put the baby bottles on that I've been holding on to from like Ava's baby something to give to another baby. And I just found it in this move and it's like the plastic is cracked. I'm like, I can't get this to nobody, baby. Ain't nobody want this. Oh, goodness, you make my side hurt. Oh, okay. All right. So okay. All right. Okay. Yes, I got the message. Okay, bye. Oh, goodness. All right, Tanisha. So, all right. So we talked about gift classes. We talked about stuff that we need to get rid of. Now, for single women and clutter and being consistent, like, is there a rule that you have about when you should be doing decluttering? Is it just like a 15 minutes every day timer thing? Or is it like once a week, major overhaul? Do you believe in spring cleaning? That's the thing that we grew up with, like, oh, this is the massive day that we do and da 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 da. And random thought, garage sales. Like, do garage sales really work? Like, is that a waste of time? Like, I just got a house and I was like, wait, should I have a garage sale? So tell us the things, girl. Once again, 15 questions.
Right. It's okay. Quick answer for the garage sale. No. No, because first of all, garage sale is different than a yard sale. Oh. Okay. So garage sale, people are expecting tools and things that you would store in a garage. Okay. So totally a yard sale.
Okay.
A yard sale, people are thinking about like clothes and shoes and maybe furniture, things from the kitchen, things like that. Unless your neighborhood is a neighborhood that is known for their yard sales and people that are into yard sales are always looking for them and you have the traffic you are going to be upset because you're not going to get the foot traffic. And 9 times out of 10, you have priced everything way too high. They don't care if the tag is still on the pink outfit that you purchased because you thought you would wear it and you never wore it. They don't care that it's new. And they don't care that you paid, $75 for it. They don't care what the brand name is, that it's new and you paid $75 for it. They want it for $25. They want it for $15 because they know you got it out of your closet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you're very frustrated because you've gone so many steps in the process to get it from inside of your house to outside to where it's shop worthy, and you are not going to get the return. If you're doing it to try and recoup money you've already spent, it's not going to happen unless they are extraordinary things.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything extraordinary.
It's not going to happen.
In my neighborhood got a gate, so ain't nobody coming. Just nothing.
Nobody's coming. So in regards to yard sales, that's my opinion on yard sales.
No.
Now, if you need to do catch-up decluttering, right, then that is when I'm like, you need to be doing something every day. Something every day. I don't care if it's 15 minutes or an hour. Think about your endurance, your decluttering endurance, right? When you're done after an hour, are you literally wiped out like you just literally sat for the MCAT? You know what I mean? The SAT or whatever.
Yeah.
Or are you like, okay, I got that done. Now let me go and make this dinner, right? Depending on how you feel, stick with that amount. I never want you to finish your daily decluttering task and feel like you literally just sat down for a standardized test, because I want you to be consistent. I want you to do it again and again and again so that you can start gathering those small wins and you can start seeing the difference. So I don't care if it's 15 minutes or an hour. If you're doing it, let's say 4 or 5 times a week, or even 3 times a week, because we have to be realistic about our schedules and our calendars, right? It's going to add up.
Yeah.
So pick a time that is directly related to your declutter endurance, and then look at your calendar and be realistic about what days you will actually get it done. Because it doesn't matter if you have it on your to-do list. It doesn't matter if you block it out on your calendar. If it's a day that let's say Wednesdays, that Ava has all of the things on Wednesday, right? You got, things that you have to do for the business on Wednesdays, Wednesday night Bible study. You got all the things on Wednesday. You're not doing 15 minutes of decluttering on Wednesday. So you got to look at your schedule realistically and like, what are my light days? What are the days that I really are not packed to the hill? Because remember, we talked about at the beginning, a barrier to organization is being stretched too thin and being burnt out and just being like, I just don't have it in me. So don't add something else on your plate that's already overflowing for the day. I like to say life balance is having the ability to change the sections of your 24-hour day pie. Just change it according to what's needed for the day. Like, in my day, there's always going to be business. There's always going to be personal. There's going to be mommy. There's going to be sister. There's going to be wife. There's going to be, servant, whatever the case may be, the cook, whatever. And depending on the day, something is going to get a bigger pie than the other. Something you're not even going to see the color on the pie because it wasn't even a thought, right?
Yeah.
And so balance is knowing that something might not get my attention at all today, but tomorrow it might get a little bit of my time pie. So being realistic about the amount of time and when will help you to be complete, to do it consistently and not feel like you're burdened with it. And so that is how you do catch up decluttering. If you've already got the place kind of together because you do a spring cleaning, decluttering, a big purge, and then maybe you do one after the summer, then my advice is build it in kind of to your daily routines. Like for me, when I'm putting up clothes, if I see something is packed, something's got to go. One or two things have to go. If I'm putting away dishes and where I normally put my Tupperware is packed and I don't have no more room for Tupperware, or where I, put my mobile water glasses, like where are all these water bottles coming from? There's no more room. Where all these water bottles come from? Then it's like, oh, well, some got to go. Where's that water bottle that I don't ever use? Where's
Right.
that glass one that I don't ever use? Because it's heavy once I put water in it, right? And you take it out and then you go ahead and donate it. So that's how you tackle things. And if you notice, the strategy is different, whether or not you're doing catch-up decluttering or the maintenance. That's important.
Listen, have you ever struggled when it comes to conversations on dates? Maybe a first date or even your 50th date. One thing I know is that we need to have more meaningful conversations. And that's why I created the Love Deck. 60 questions to ask before choosing the one, but really to deepen your conversations. So whether it's with that guy that you're dating or with your mom or your close girlfriends, what I know is we got to speak more to the heart of our people. Grab your Love Deck today. It's a great gift for others, and you could get it right now in our Amazon store. Pick up yours. One side is affirmations. The other side is dating conversations. Get yours today. Pick up the Love Deck. That's so good. I remember one time you told me that not to spend my 3-day weekend dumping out my entire closet on the floor, which I have been guilty of. And then 3 months later, there go my closet still on the floor.
Yeah, because you don't pulled everything, and then all of a sudden you've seen the memes. All of a sudden you see you in the middle of the floor with all these piles of clothes with a mask on that you found that you wore to the masquerade party 3 years ago. And now you like, I'm hungry. I'm tired. Who's cleaning this up?
I'm gonna just lay down right here on this stack of t-shirts. It's a problem.
I just. It's like, wake me up later. Wake me up later. I'm done. Yeah.
It's a whole problem. So the okay buy has now transformed into a book. I'm really excited about this book.
Yes. So as I was doing the okay buy post, I realized that people were, even though, their edges were getting pulled slightly, they were, cursing me out in their head, or actually in the comments, they were threatening to unfollow me, defriend me, all of the things. It was reminding them of just little things that have become background noise, right? Clutter background noise. And it's like, because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I can do that. That's easy. I ain't never even thought about that, right? So the book now is going to be just friendly reminders from your girlfriend that loves you so much, that is going to ask the tough questions and just bring back to your remembrance that thing that you keep putting back into that bottom drawer that you're never, ever going to use. It's just that little nudge to say, girl, stop putting it back in that drawer if you know you don't want it no more. Like, just doing it. So it's kind of a daily, it's a daily, reminder of things, just to be like, okay. And there's going to be a call to action, so that you can do some things and get some things done and build that your decluttering endurance so that you can potentially do a little bit more, because a lot of people get overwhelmed and they get anxious with the thought about it. So it's going to be a book of, you can do this. Like, this is something that won't even break a sweat, and in a fun and very kiki kind of way.
Okay, come on, fun and kinky kind of way. We make it organized and fun and kinky. Oh, snap. So
No, like, oh, like kikiing with your friends. Kinky, not kinky.
not kinky. Oh, I was like, this is a different kind of book. I thought we got steamy. I'm like, ooh, decluttering just got sexy. Let me find out. What we doing? What we got going on?
Now you just give me an idea when we start talking about that underwear drawer and that lingerie drawer. I may have a call to action to be like, if you're not sure if this is something you should keep, put it on. Walk around the house and see what reactions you might get. And that'll tell you whether you should keep it or not. I may add that when we get to that section.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay. Let me go ahead over to the drawer, because for the married folk, I don't know how many married folks still wearing that stuff. It just be in there.
Right.
Just be naked. Naked is good. Actually, you don't even have to be naked. That's a whole nother podcast episode. Listen, I had one girlfriend that got me like just some nighties, like some nighties from Ross. That was just so wonderful. She said, girl, this is really what you're going to wear. Okay. Whatever them people bought you, you ain't going to wear that. And boy, was she right. Good night. Like, it don't even matter. So that's, yeah. Okay. I'm here for the walk around the house. You're going to get me in all type of trouble. All right. Walk around. You better walk around the house. Hey. Hey. Okay. So now, how do you know when you have a problem that you should fix, or you should ask and bring in a professional organizer? Like, what are the levels? Because I have hired professional organizers, and what I appreciate is, one lady had on her form, like, did you take your medication? Like, did you take your Xanax, your Valium, your whatever it is? I was like, I feel like I should include this in my contracts, right? Before our time together, have you taken all medicines that you need to take so you don't go off on me, type of thing? Like, how do you know when you should hire somebody to help?
As a consumer, you mean?
Yeah.
When you know that this is something that you need to do, and then there's a level that you want to do it. Like, you don't necessarily want to do the action, but you would love to experience the result of the action. I always bring it back to weight and fitness. Okay. I want my body to look a certain way. I want the results of my body to be a certain way, right?
Mm.
But I don't necessarily want to put in the work of the movement to the level to get the results that I want. I can maybe do it to the level once a week. That's not going to give me the results that I want. I need to be more consistent in it. Okay? So that is when I need to hire a trainer. That's when I need to go get a gym membership that gives me some level of contact with an expert, right? That is when I need to find an expert that has some type of membership that I can jump in, that can give me that guidance and the accountability so that I can do what I need to do to get the body I want more than once a week, right? So same thing in regards to decluttering and getting organized. If you are past the part of denial, if you are past the part of, I'm comfortable in this, it's fine. If you are comfortable in it, but you know that there's better, but you don't have it in you, whether skill or energy or whatever, to get to that point, then that's when you hire someone.
Mm.
That's when you out to the people who do, and get help, because there's so many different ways that you can get help. It doesn't always look like an organizer, a productivity specialist coming into your house. There's so many different ways that you can do that. They can come to your house. They can travel to you if you don't live in their local, place. They can come to you virtually. They could have courses, they could have memberships that hold you accountable, all of those things. Because the difference is they have the strategy, right? Everyone's case is going to be different. Everyone's home is different. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's experiences and memories and goals are different. So therefore, they are going to think totally different about every single item in their home. So the strategy can't be cookie cutter. Yes, of course, there are going to be certain methods, and I follow a method, my method, but everything is going to be different. The way that I strategize to get you from A to B so that we can eventually get to Z is going to be different, because I have to be mindful of, are you struggling with depression? Are you struggling with anxiety? Are you in the dark days of grief? Are you grieving? You're not in the dark days, but you're still not, you haven't hit your new normal after loss, right? Have you just had a wonderful life events, like, getting married if that's what you wanted to do, have kids if that's what you wanted to do, move to a new house, start a new business. But even with life events, how many of us know, even with positive life events, could come emotions and feelings that are not so positive, right? So
Yeah.
even when those positive things happen in our life, we still have to figure out how to navigate it. And when we don't figure it out, we're going to see it in our spaces. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, even with me, when my life, when I'm stretched too thin or in this time of grief, there's some things that my aversion is a little less right now. Okay. Right? But the difference is, because I don't have a lot of overflow in my
Mm.
home, where when everything is put away and things are where they need to be, and I don't have any extras just lingering, it doesn't take me long to get everything back into shape.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In those moments when my house is not the way it should be, when I come out of the cloud, right? When my aversion is like, oh, wait, why are those boxes still over there?
Right.
No, we need to tackle that. It's not going to take me, all week. It's not going to take me whatever. And not because it's what I do, it's because the mountain that has built while I was under the cloud and didn't feel like dealing with has not grown as high as Mount Everest.
Yeah.
It's just a little speed bump.
Yeah.
It's just a little. So that's the benefit, and that is the benefit of having an organized-ish home, is that when life hits, everything is not gonna totally fall apart, and then you start from
Right.
scratch. So these are reasons why you reach out for help, for people who know what they're doing, because they can switch their strategy according to what you need and what your goals are.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest ones that you help with is for grief, right? The thing that we don't plan for, and having someone else to help you go through your loved one's things. Because, man, if you have your sister, cousin, best friend, auntie, so and so, like that's a whole that's a whole heap of things and drama for no reason. Like, might as well get
For
your
no
finances.
reason, right? Because in those, yeah, yeah. Because in those moments, everyone is hurt, right? Everyone is suffering with loss. Everyone is processing the loss. And so they are bringing their grief to the situation. And you're going to get comments like, I know y'all not selling the house, or you can't get rid of your dad's tools. Okay, but and you don't need those comments in that moment, right?
Mhm.
And you have to give people grace, but sometimes family is not necessarily the people that you need around to guide you through whatever you have to do with your loved one that has just passed with their things. And it might not even be a just pass. It could be a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later. But sometimes those people are not who you need in that moment, because you need someone who can step back, understand where your grief lies and where your sensitivities, and help you navigate what is really important,
Yeah.
right? And how you're going to weave those things to your life later.
Amazing. What you do is so needed, and just for me specifically, being in a new space, and it wasn't until like we were holding like a get together at our house that we really got things in order. Oh, company's coming, right? And now that I have finally cleared the boxes out of the corner of my bedroom, hallelujah. Now that I have actually moved all the boxes and got them cut out and moved out to the trash, it's just like, wow, this is a whole new feeling of things are where they're supposed to be. Every night, I've been like loading the dishwasher, and that's like the last thing I do, and cleaning off the counter, something that I wouldn't do before. It's just like, I like this. I like leaving my clean kitchen. I'm finding out a whole new side of me just because there's places that things go, and now we're setting little new things in order. I'm like, wow, this is a newfound space of organization that I didn't have before. I finally have an office. Before, I was living at my table, right? So it's just like, you got to move the stuff. My stuff was in the pantry. My business stuff was in the pantry because I was at my table. We were doing videos like this out of the side of our bedroom, all types of stuff not being where it's supposed to be. So now that I've been afforded the ability, and I thank God for it, and I'm humbled by it. It's just like the ability for me to have my own space. It has created a whole new woosah, right?
Yeah.
Just absolutely beautiful. So I just appreciate all that you do and all that God has called you to do. And I know it's not simple. And I know a part of it is the education of why. And I hope that for those who are listening, you start to look around your space and say, you know what? I do need to do something different. And if you need help with it, there's nothing wrong with hiring help. There is nothing wrong with hiring help. Listen, I have hired help to help me organize, to help me with my colors, to help me with video production, to help me figure out my glasses, to help me with my earrings, to help me with my hair. You know what I mean? Like, to help me with my love life. I have hired help to help me with my travel. Listen, sis, like, hire the help. You get there so much quicker, right?
Oh,
And so, Tanisha, please share your handles, your website. How could they find you? Because especially when the book drops and your community, all that stuff, we want to be able to connect with you. So where do they go?
yes. So Natural Born Organizers on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. I have a Facebook group called Tanisha's Declutter and Organizing Party, where everyone is working on their stuff. It is a free Facebook group. And then I have a accountability membership called Your Organized Life with Tanisha. And we have daily check-ins, Sunday through Thursday, where we jump on, and it's like a co-working session. So if you need to work on a space, you can work on the space via Zoom with everyone else. If you need to ask a question because you got stuck, that is where you ask a question. If you need some mindset situations, you can ask the question, and I work with you through there in community, so that you can become consistent. And my website is naturalbornorganizers.com, and everything that I just mentioned, you can find there.
Yay! I just want to say thank you so much for graciously being with us on today's show. And for those of you who loved it, make sure to hit save, make sure to hit share, make sure to hit subscribe, all the notifications, because each and every week we are dropping a new episode to bless you, to change your view on love one episode at a time. So hopefully this episode has helped you to love your space a little bit more so you could love yourself a little bit better. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. This is Coach Cass, your host. Until next time.
So we are trying out the love deck. So let's just do random. I like this one. I like that. That one.
Wanted Woman Love Deck. Y'all, this about to be good. So we played with these ones already, and they were good. They was like right on the money. They was good. On one side, it has affirmations. On the other side, it has like a question. So we got to answer the question. So he gonna read the affirmation part, and then on the other side, it's gonna have a question.
The affirmation part is I embrace. Oh, wow.
That's a good one.
I have these wanted woman cards from Coach Cass, our good dear friend, and she made these wanted woman cards. And I am a wanted woman by you.
Let's get that right.
Right, yeah. Right. So we're gonna read, it's like a little question and answer.
Okay.
All right, so this is one of her cards. It says, what is your favorite family tradition?
Our family tradition, our favorite family tradition is to go to church on Sunday.
That's true.
What is your favorite dance move?
My favorite, like right now, my favorite dance move?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Show me what you're working with.
All right, let me show you. All right. Ow. Ow. Yeah.
That is the favorite.
Oh, that's okay. You've been seeing this forever. Ow. So yeah, you probably have. Yeah, that was the move that caught your attention. What you talking about?